Okay, you're right. Good job. Thank you. Okay, so I may have made a mistake with you guys last week where I said that Walter Chen said this. It doesn't actually say if Walter Chen said that some stores around the country have reported an increase of sales of 5 to 30%. That might actually be Justin Movin because we can't attribute it directly to him. But if we wanted to quote that, so our two things that we're working on today, one thing is quoting. Okay? So right now we're going to work on quoting. Here's how you do that. First, we've got to decide what our source is. We use this in our evidence, yes? I believe we wrote something to the effect of stores are reporting an increase in sales of 5 to 30%. Who's our source? Yeah, but I think I messed that up. So who's our source on this one? Justin Movin. We have to give credit to who said it. So we would say something like this. You could be working on this too. According to, what would I say? To Justin Movin. So get that far. Because we're telling who's saying it. Justin Movin said. So according to Justin Movin. You could be writing this down in a reading notebook or something. I mean, it's not. I understand that your writing notebook might be at home. You should still do this. Then after you cite your source, everybody good here?
Yes. No.
After you do that, you put in a comma. Or we might add to, you might say, another thing you could add to is according to Justin Movin, comma, he states, comma, and then you can do it, but we're just going to do this. We're going to keep it as simple as we can. According to Justin Movin, quotation marks. What does it exactly say? We have to write it exactly the way that it's stated. Some stores, that's what happens when you touch the smartboard. I was trying to help you guys follow along. You have to write it exactly the way it's written. Some stores around the country have reported an increase in sales 5 to 30%. You have to write it exactly the way it looks. Some stores around the country have reported an increase in sales 5 to 30%. Now, because that's the end of the sentence, when you get there, we still put in a period, but we got to make sure we end with our quote. That's our end quote. So then there's one more step to this. When we do this, you're going to get a sheet that we're going to start doing this on probably Wednesday, because we're going to craft a new claim tomorrow, then we're going to do one of these. And what we want to do is we want to give what's called an explanation. Basically, now we're looking at this and we're trying to explain what it means. But here's my explanation. I'm going to model this.
We have to put the explaining sign.
When you actually get the sheet, there's going to be a place for it, but right now I'm just modeling this. We may have you guys do it for the next one or try it on the next one. So, the explanation that I see here is it says, okay, some stores around the country have reported an increase in sales of 5 to 30%. Okay? And if I read the whole thing, it says that, so the explanation is, Pokemon Go is, okay, the whistling's gotta stop. That's ruining my train of thought, and now I look like I'm a nut job on the old interweb. Let's not do that stuff. We know better. We've only talked about the humming and stuff a bunch. Okay, so Pokemon Go is increasing the amount of sales at some businesses by increasing how many people are going into the shops. Right? Because people are playing Pokemon Go, they're going out, they're walking, they're going to these different stores, and while they're in the stores, they're buying stuff. So it's good for business. Does this explain this?
Yeah.
Now, did I make anything up? Did I add anything to it?
No.
I'm making an assumption that people are buying more because more people are going into the shops. That is an assumption. But I think it's a pretty safe assumption. I could also say something like, because Pokemon Go is making more people go into the stores, the people are buying more things while they're in the store. Or are buying things while they're there. We're good on this one. So the key on quoting is, you have to write it exactly the same way as it's written. Now watch this. Could I do this? Quotation. Some stores around the country have reported an increase in sales of 5 to 30%. Comma. Stated Justin Movin. Can I do that? Cross this out. Some stores around the country have reported an increase in sales of 5 to 30%, stated Justin Movin.
Yes.
Does that work?
Yep.
There's more than one way to do a quotation. You guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a question. So on like the 5 to 30%, instead of doing the actual sign, can we write like percent or like?
You want to write it the exact way that they wrote it.
Okay.
So here would be an example. You guys are Mackenzie, are you paying attention or are you looking to the back of the room? Gotta have you here. I know it's hard. Here's an example. Well, you guys are all well aware of the 30-page paper that I had to write, right?
Yep.
Okay. And when I wrote that, if I was summarizing, you could write it the percent. Now, when my paper, there was one that behavior which we all know behavior, maybe you don't know. Behavior is spelled B-E-H-A-V-I-O-R.
Yep.
But in like Great Britain or England or Australia, behavior is written B-E-H-A-V-I-O-U-R. Spelled different. When I was paraphrasing the study that I was talking about, I was told by my professors to write behavior in the American English form. B-E-H-A-V-I-O-R. But when I directly quoted them, if I quoted something that they said in the study directly, then I have to use, if behavior is used in that way, and this actually happened in my paper, in the quotation I had to write B-E-H-A-V-I-O-U-R because I can't change their spelling. Even if it's spelled incorrectly, if you're quoting someone, something that they wrote and it's spelled incorrectly, you have to write it incorrectly and then usually afterwards. And I don't know what this stands for, but let's say that, okay, so let's even say they used, instead of increased, they used increase. Let's say they put increased. That's not the proper use. Then after that you have to write sick, so that they know that it's spelled incorrectly on purpose. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Now, I don't expect us to really have to deal with that. That's some higher level things. Do you guys understand what I'm telling you? Okay, so now let's look at our second bit of information that we got yesterday. Now we're going to work on paraphrasing. When you quote, write it the exact same way. Read what we have for evidence from the second one. If you weren't here, maybe you could look on to somebody else's. Looking at what Parker says we put down, according to R. Terry, which I can look back and see that that's 63-year-old Robin Terry, he told the BBC, Pokemon Go has helped him lose 42 pounds and manage his diabetes. Now, his actual quote is, if we wanted to quote this, we would say, the game has encouraged he and his wife, Pauline, to walk about 30 miles a week, helping him lose about 42 pounds and manage his diabetes. We're not going to write exactly that. We're going to do what's called paraphrase. And when you paraphrase, you're taking what the person said and putting it into your own words. Now, this one's kind of already paraphrased for us because are they directly quoting Robin Tari?
No.
No. So, if I were going to do this, I would start by saying, whoop, that's not how you make an R, that's a P. Robin Tari. Oh, wait. I got to think about how I want to start this. See, you might make mistakes like that, and then you got to be willing to go back and erase. Playing Pokemon Go. Why is Pokemon uppercase?
It's a specific game.
It's a proper noun. It's a specific game. Playing Pokemon Go. Now I want to summarize what Mr. Tari is saying. Has had health benefits for many people. Have I said anything about Robin Tari yet?
Nope.
But I'm summarizing what this says, right? So it has health benefits. We should maybe get that far. Okay, I'm going to continue on even if you're not quite there. Now I'm going to summarize what Mr. Terry said. And I'm going to leave parts out. I'm not going to write everything. Robin Terry walks over 30 miles a week playing the game. That's another sentence, right? What did I leave out?
The pounds and diabetes.
I left his wife out. Because does it say anything about her losing any weight or managing her diabetes?
No.
It's nice that they're doing it together, but is it important?
No.
Maybe to them.
Is it important to the reader, though?
No.
I mean, I'm happy for them. That's awesome. They're spending quality time, but do you think it's important I add anything else, or is that it? Does that prove the point?
Yes.
I don't think so. Just because he walks 30 miles a week, does that mean he's getting healthier?
He manages his diabetes.
Okay, now watch. I'm going to paraphrase. He has lost, now watch what I do here. This is where it becomes important. He has lost significant weight. Will we agree 43 pounds is a lot? Or 42 pounds is a lot or significant?
Yeah.
Now I'm going to use an ampersand, and it has helped him manage his diabetes. Now, if you look at this, look how close I am to having a paragraph. What's this? Playing Pokemon Go has had health benefits for many people.
That's a topic.
That's a topic sentence, isn't it? Robin Terry walks over 30 miles a week playing the game. We've got our topic sentence, we got one piece of evidence. He has lost significant weight and it has helped him manage his diabetes. Second. This is that you could actually even split that into two if you wanted, couldn't you? He's lost significant weight, period. It has helped him manage his diabetes. You could split that if you want. The last thing that we have to do, though, is do our explanation of this. So if we were doing an explanation of this, that could be like your conclusion for your paragraph, right? You guys see how this sets you up to write? So now, if you did this with 3 pieces of evidence, you could easily have, you could have 3 paragraphs pretty easily, couldn't you? You guys see how this builds on it? So here would be, let's come up with an explanation. Let's think about this. What is this trying to say? As a result of having to walk to play the game, Pokemon Go is making people be more active, which is leading them to be more healthy. There you go. Look at that. There's a conclusion. Now, the thing about a conclusion is you have to kind of, something we were working on today, you have to draw conclusions. Do you guys know what it means to draw? It doesn't mean to sit down and write. Do you guys understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When you draw a conclusion, it's kind of like drawing water, which means, Mackenzie, I don't know what we got going on, but I need you right now. In the old days, you'd have to drop a bucket down a well, lower it down, and then you draw the string in. When you draw a conclusion, it's like you're drawing the information into your brain and then trying to understand what it means. Does that make sense? So your explanation is kind of like drawing a conclusion, using what you wrote to then explain the point. The point is, in order to play the game, you have to walk. Because you have to walk to play the game, you're getting exercise, and exercise is making you more. Does it say that anywhere in the article? No, but that's the conclusion that we are drawing. Make sense? That's our evidence. If I were arguing with someone about this and I gave them that, and I said, it's good for people to play Pokemon Go because they have to walk to play the game. If they're playing a lot, they're going to do significant walking, which is going to help them with their physical health. Is there a way to argue that?
No.
You can't argue against that, really. That's pretty sound. You could say, yeah, but sometimes when people are walking, they're not paying attention, and they're walking out into streets and ignoring traffic signals, which is dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not refuting that it could be good for your health with the exercise, is it?
Mm-hmm.
It's bad for your health a different way. Braxton,
I just want to say that you can drive in a car and do it. So.
you shouldn't be playing while driving. I would say that's worse than texting.
I know, but like passenger can do it.
A passenger could. Yep, very good. Very good, Braxton. That could be an argument that not everybody's using it that way. The driver shouldn't be playing though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so that's kind of the end of quoting and citing today. So the next step is, tomorrow when we do another one of these and we craft the claim, then the following day what we're going to sit down is we're going to cite, we're going to quote something, and we're going to paraphrase something, so we get better at that. You guys understand what I'm asking?
Yep.
How do we feel about quoting and paraphrasing? Fists to 5. Again, does everyone understand fists to 5? 5 means, I can teach it. What are you doing here, Mr. Roth? We don't need you. 4 is, I've got a pretty good understanding of it. I might have 1 or 2 questions. 3 is, I could do it with some help. 2 is, I could do it with a lot of help. 1 is, I'm really not sure about this. And 0 is, I don't even know if I'm on Earth right now. Okay, I look around the room, I'm seeing some 4s. A couple 3s. 3, I mean, if this is the first day we've done it and you're a 3, is that a bad thing?
No.
No, if the lowest score we have is a 3, that probably means that we're doing pretty good for our first day. So, alright, we'll keep working on this. People on the Zoom meeting, we're going to